tea. Hello everyone, my name is Duga Tadini. Welcome to another video here on my channel, and today I have a little surprise for you guys. I have decided to test different motors, different systems, basically a different camera. Let's check it out. That's right, Sony. I finally convinced myself to test a Sony camera. I have purchased Sony A6500 with the Sony 10-18 f4 lens, and here is my review of the little beast, if I may say that, because the camera seems pretty good for its price, for its size, and I'm pretty happy with it. I just didn't really get too much time to play with it yet. It arrived, I think, yesterday, so I haven't really had the time to go through every single option on the camera. However, I did play with it enough to make a quick review for you guys, and hopefully by the end of the video you are going to decide if you will or will not buy this camera. Right, so just like everything else in life, we start with the good things, right? So I'm going to start with the pros first. What I found that this camera can offer, not compared with any other camera, especially because I never really had any other Sony cameras, and I'm not comparing this camera with Canon or Panasonic or any other brand. Is literally just a review of the A6500. Right, first the ISO. I haven't really had the chance to test the ISO in difficult environments, you know, not too much light, but I heard and I've seen pretty good tests that take the camera all the way up to 6400 if I'm not wrong, until you see noise. I wouldn't really go that much. I mean, with Sony, they do a pretty good job with this, but having the option to go all the way to 6400 is a great option. It's also pretty small and pretty light, so I would recommend, if you want to have a camera just for your gimbal, or for, I don't know, if you're a vlogger or if you know, travel and make videos, I do recommend this camera right here. It's pretty small, pretty light, as I said. I do think that is an amazing little camera for you to add to your arsenal. Another pro for me is the resolution as well as the frame rates. So with this camera you can record up to 4K 25 frames per second. I'm only giving you the settings for UK. I'm not talking about the American 24p, 30p, it's just UK. So 25 frames per second recorded in 4K. Full HD, you have super slow motion, which is 100 frames per second, and then you can do, for both, you can do 60 and 100 megabits. It depends if you have space, if you want more quality. It all depends about your cards and everything else. So these two are the main ones that I use, but you can also record in 50 frames per second in 1080, which is, I think, 50 megabits. And you can also record the normal 25 frames per second in 1080 as well at 50 megabits per second. You also have two other modes, AVC HD and MP4, but I don't play with them. I don't need these other two. I only mainly use 4K and super slow motion, and that's that. Autofocus is also something that I really want to point out. Is apparently is really good. I did some tests. I had some problems when I wasn't really lit, and because I can't see myself on the screen, made it a bit difficult. But the autofocus seems to be good, especially for photography. Videography, apparently with the face recognition, face tracking, you can also have a pretty decent result. So autofocus is another pro in my opinion. I do think that all in all, operating the camera isn't as hard as I thought, especially coming from a Canon background. Having my first Sony, I did think that I was going to have more problems, but for now it seems okay. And with this I finalized the pros. I'm sure there are more as I operate more the camera and as I test more the camera. I'm sure I'm gonna find more pros and more cons. But for now, let's get down to the cons, and the list is long. Right, starting with the recording button. The recording button is pretty idiotic. It's tiny. I mean, I know it's a photography camera, but the recording button is ridiculous. I mean, I would rather have where the shutter button is, the normal shutter for your photos, but yeah, that's one big con. The button is tiny, but the con is huge in my opinion. Another one is this tiny little thing here. That's where you attach your strap, you know, the one that goes around your neck or you carry and stuff. And this is for, especially for video. Well, I mean, perhaps only for video. I actually thought the camera was broken. So this is pretty annoying and is a con for me as well. The LCD, the back LCD, as you might know already, just tilts up like this, but it doesn't flip out, so you can't see yourself when you're recording, which is pretty annoying. Battery life is another con. I did order another 4 batteries or 3 batteries, I can't remember now. They haven't really arrived yet, but it's pretty bad. I mean, I know that the batteries are tiny. I don't know if you've seen, batteries are really small. Obviously, you can't really expect too much of it, but I heard that the Panasonic GH4 and GH5 do have small batteries as well, and they do last quite a lot. So battery is another con for me. The menu is also ridiculous. I mean, apparently users of the 6300 and the 6000 did complain because it changed. It changed from every single camera. Apparently, I don't know. I just heard that that's what happens, but the menu is pretty intense. It's really long and you have to know what you're doing, especially with autofocus. There's so many options. Slowly, I'm getting used to it. However, it's not as user-friendly as other cameras that I had in the past. But it's not as user-friendly as Canon menus, for instance. But if you want Canon menu, you buy a Canon camera. But the menu of the A6500 is also, to me, disappointing. Maybe you can try reading the manual and it should only take you about, I don't know, a few weeks, then you'll be fine. But just joking. Another downside for me is not having the headphone jack. You do have an input for your microphone, maybe your Rode or any other microphone that you may use. However, you don't have the headphone jack for monitoring your audio. One solution that I've seen quite a few people doing is you perhaps buy a small monitor. This is not a monitor, this is just my phone, but you buy a monitor with obviously the headphone jack there. You attach through your HDMI, I think is a micro, mini, super small HDMI here. You attach to your monitor and then you have your headphone jack for monitoring your audio. The problem is you're spending a bit more money. So from £1,300, you are looking into, I don't know, another 3, 4, 5, 600 pounds for a monitor. Is that worthwhile? I don't know. You want to keep it small? Maybe, yeah. I mean, you do have the levels on screen, which is pretty good, but you know, monitoring your audio is pretty good. But if you are really interested in recording audio, I would say for interviews or you know, some other important jobs that you may have, I would record audio separately anyway. I would only use the internal audio only for scratch audio. I wouldn't really use for my main audio, but it's up to you. You do what you think that is best. I do think that is important to monitor, but buying a new thing just for this, yeah, it's a bit tricky. Another con is the fact that the SD card goes with the battery and is underneath here and not on the side. I have no idea who gave this idea to Sony. If you do know, please leave in the comments below. But this is, it's hardcore. I mean, it's annoying because you do have to actually remove, if you need to change your cards, you have to remove your camera from your tripod, your gimbal, whatever, and then open that little flap, press it again. I just pressed once, I couldn't press it the first time, and have your SD card out. So this is another con that I have for you related to the Sony A6500. And last but not least, the charger that Sony adds to the box is, in my opinion, pretty bad. That's what they send. Obviously this is a plug, this is the tiny little charger that they sent, and a USB cable. And this USB cable you connect to the side of your camera. That means that you can only charge the battery that is in here, which is pretty outrageous. I mean, how about if I want to use the camera and charge my battery? I can't do it. Sony, come on. You should think of that. Anyway, that's why I bought a new charger. So it's a dual charger. I paid about 25, 30 pounds for this. I'll leave the link in the description below. I do think that is important, obviously, to have a charger. That charger is actually quite good because you have, apart from the tube plates that you have for tube batteries, you also have a USB, so a USB on the side, so you can also charge your phone while charging the tube batteries and be happy and be shooting with your camera. And this closed my cons for the A6500. Now I did some tests with the camera today. I did take my skates out. It was sunny outside. kind of sunny, it's a bit overcast, sunny, you know, UK. But I did take my skates out, did take the A6500 with the 1080, and I put it to the test. I'm sorry I didn't film 4K, I just filmed 1080 because I wanted to test the slow motion outside. I did some tests inside, but I also wanted to do some tests outside. I hope you guys enjoyed the test. If you did like this video, give that thumbs up. Come on, give it up. Come on, give it up right now. Come on, click on that. Yeah, there we go. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe and turn on the notifications so you know whenever I post new videos. That's great, that's technology, that's amazing. Please do turn on those notifications, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.